The housewarming party at my home was going wonderfully for everyone, except me. My son-in-law was proudly showing guests around his house. Family photos were being taken in my living room, and people were raising their glasses to toast a future they didn't actually own. Then the doorbell rang. One unexpected guest arrived and ended the celebration forever. Welcome to Behind Dad. If you love emotional family stories, shocking twists, and powerful life lessons, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And just a reminder, the pictures and visuals you see throughout this video are for illustration purposes only and are used to help bring this story to life. My name is James Carter. I'm 72 years old, and this incident happened about 6 months after my daughter Emily and her husband Ryan moved into my house. The arrangement was only supposed to be temporary. Ryan had lost his job, and Emily wanted some time to save money for their future. I agreed because I've always believed that family comes first. At least, that's what I thought at the time. For the first few months, things felt mostly normal. But slowly, small changes began to appear. Ryan started speaking about the house differently. At first, he called it James's house. Then it became our place. Eventually, he began referring to it simply as my house. Every time I heard those words, something inside me twisted, but I chose to stay quiet. I wanted peace in the house more than I wanted an argument. Then one Saturday afternoon, I returned home after visiting an old friend and found something I never expected. Dozens of cars were lined up outside. Loud music was playing. People were laughing and chatting. The backyard was packed with guests. As soon as I stepped inside, I realized exactly what was happening. A full-blown housewarming party was underway in my home, without my knowledge and without my permission. Food was spread across every kitchen counter. Children were running through the hallways. And right in the middle of it all stood Ryan, looking proud and confident, as if he were the host of his own grand celebration. When he saw me, he barely acknowledged my presence. I overheard him introducing the property to one of his relatives. We finally found the perfect home. The relative congratulated him warmly. Ryan smiled from ear to ear. I said nothing. I simply watched. The strangest part came a little later. His family gathered in the living room and started taking group photos. Photos in front of my fireplace. Photos under the family pictures I had hung on the walls years ago. Photos that made it look like this was their forever home. Someone even shouted, "Let's take one for the new homeowners." Everyone cheered loudly. Ryan and Emily stood together, smiling for the camera. I stood quietly in the corner, observing everything. Emily looked uncomfortable and almost guilty, but she didn't stop it. No one did. So I waited, because there was something Ryan didn't know. About 40 minutes later, the doorbell rang. Once, then twice, followed by a firm, confident knock. Ryan glanced toward the door, looking slightly annoyed, probably thinking another late guest had arrived. He walked across the living room and opened the door with a smile. That smile vanished instantly. Standing outside were two professional-looking men. One carried a letter folder, the other held several important documents. The entire atmosphere in the house shifted in seconds. The laughter faded. The music seemed to grow quieter. Even the children stopped running around. The first man stepped inside politely and asked for me. Not Ryan, not Emily, me. I stood up and greeted him with a firm handshake. Ryan looked completely confused. The man introduced himself as a property consultant I had worked with for many years. He knew every single detail about the house, every record, every agreement, every signature. Ryan tried to laugh it off. "What's all this about?" he asked, forcing a smile. No one answered immediately. The consultant calmly placed a folder on the dining table and opened it. Emily's face turned pale the moment she saw the documents. She remembered them clearly. Ryan, however, had no idea. One by one, the consultant laid out the papers. The room fell completely silent. Guests slowly moved closer, curious about what was happening. The first document clearly stated the terms of the living arrangement we had all agreed upon when Ryan and Emily moved in. The house remained fully in my name. All major decisions about the property were still mine. No resident was allowed to present themselves as the owner without my explicit permission. Ryan stared at his own signature at the bottom of the page. His confidence melted away right before everyone's eyes. The consultant continued. The next document outlined clear rules. Guests staying in the home were not permitted to host large events, claim ownership of the property, or make decisions affecting the house without approval. Emily closed her eyes. She knew exactly where this was heading. Then the consultant placed several printed photographs on the table, pictures taken that very afternoon. Photos of the party decorations, welcome signs that read Ryan and Emily's new home, and even screenshots of social media posts made during the celebration. Several guests shifted uncomfortably as they saw themselves in those images. Finally, the consultant placed the most important document in front of Ryan. This one detailed the exact consequences if the agreement was broken. No dramatic threats, just clear, fair terms that everyone, including Ryan, had willingly accepted from the beginning. For the first time that day, Ryan looked genuinely worried. Then something unexpected happened. Emily suddenly stood up. Tears filled her eyes. She looked at me first, then at Ryan. The room was dead silent as she spoke. This was never our house. Her words hit like a thunderbolt. Ryan looked stunned. His relatives froze. Guests slowly lowered their phones. Emily continued, her voice shaking but clear. She admitted that she had warned Ryan many times. She had told him the party was a bad idea. She had begged him to stop calling the house his own and to show respect. But he hadn't listened. Instead, he had grown more confident and entitled with every passing month. Now, the consequences were standing right in front of him. Ryan lowered his head in silence. For the first time, no one defended him, not even his own family. Then Ryan's father stood up. He looked around the room and let out a heavy sigh. We should have remembered whose home this really is. Those simple words marked the end of the celebration. Within the next hour, decorations were taken down, tables were folded, and guests quietly left one by one. The music stopped. The laughter disappeared. The family photos were deleted. My home finally became peaceful again. A few weeks later, Ryan came to me with a genuine apology, not because he was caught, but because he finally understood the difference between living in someone's home and truly respecting it. Looking back, I never wanted revenge. I only wanted respect. Sometimes people become so comfortable in another person's space that they forget who opened the door for them in the first place. If this story touched you, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts. And if you believe gratitude and respect should never be forgotten, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, the pictures and visuals shown throughout this video are for illustration purposes only. Thank you for watching Behind Dad. Take care of your family, protect your dignity, and always remember this important lesson. A house becomes a home through kindness, but stays a home through respect. I'll see you in the next one.